Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions, metalheads, and rock and rollers from all over the world. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host. I'm joined as always by
BC
and
BB.
And our awesome keyboard player tonight is
Dylan.
Hi, guys. What's
Hello.
going on? How's everybody doing tonight here?
Righty, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing. Once again, we are here recording another awesome episode on an absolutely fucking terrible weather night here. Seems like you could set your weather calendar to when we're going to record, because it seems like every time we record anymore, it's either fucking blizzard or ice or rain or snow or whatever.
Or all of above.
Yeah, we can get a little bit of everything. Thanks for coming on and coming to the studio with us last week, Sonny Pooney.
Yep.
And it was awesome having dinner with you, and having you actually here with us. It was an awesome time, and the episode was great, and hope you guys out there enjoyed it. Part 1. And before we get rocking into it, let's see what are you guys listening to? This is one of my favorite parts of the show, because I like to kind of see what you guys are listening to. I know that a little taskmaster and kind of make you listen to a lot of different shit, but hopefully you have some time to listen to something different. BC's thinking, he's over there.
I'm listening
the
to it.
hamster's on the wheel, like running fucking wild over there.
I know I'm listening to it, I just don't know what's called.
All right. Welcome back to you, Dylan. What do you got going?
For some reason, as a palate cleanser for tonight's episode, I was listening to those albums, and then I thought, let's put on Among the Living from Anthrax. And let me tell you, that's a perfect album from front to back. You know all the popular songs, I Am the Law, Indians, Cotton Amash, but the album is so good on the lesser-known songs, like the title track, or NFL, or
That's a great
The
deep
Horror
track
of It
album.
All. Skeletons in the Closet. There's such good songs in that album that aren't necessarily in the forefront of people's minds when they think Anthrax. So if you haven't listened to the album in a really long time, check it out. Front to back, I would recommend it. Among the Living, Anthrax.
Yeah, and you know what's good too? They'll every now and then throw out one of those deeper tracks live too, which is that's totally not unheard of them doing. Good pick, BB. How about you?
The other day on Ozzy's Boneyard, they threw on Suicide Solution from the Randy Rhoads tribute album.
Uh-huh.
So that kind of dug my interest, and I listened to this morning, and what a great album it is. And you just listen to Randy shred live, and it's just unbelievable the sound that he made, and what tragic things happened, but I just love to see if he was still around, what he'd be doing today.
Is that the one where he's hugging Randy on the cover?
he's picking
He's
him up.
holding him up in the air.
Yeah.
It's
That's right,
the tribute album.
Yep.
That is a good album.
I never bought that album. We were down Wildwood Crest on vacation Wildwood Crest, whatever, on the boardwalk. And remember they used to have the big, you'd throw like the beach ball and it would land in the blocks or whatever. And they'd have prizes, but this one they had albums for prizes.
Oh my God.
So I won, and I'm like, give me the Ozzy one. But it sucked though because we were on vacation, so I couldn't listen to it till I got home like 4 days later. It was like the first day we were on vacation. I'm like, can we go home like a day early? Of course we didn't, but it was at least I had something to look forward to when I got home, and that's a fantastic album.
Yeah.
And I just love how much heavier, but a lot more soulful those albums sound. Those songs sound with Randy playing them live. I mean, they're fantastic on the studio albums, but they sound so much fuller and like so much more alive on those live ones. What do you think, BC?
I think that's a great album, but that's pretty cool that you won it though.
Yeah.
That was I never had to buy. Of
How
course,
come
I
they
can't
have that
find
game
it
today?
now.
Nah, damn it!
I know. Yeah, so it was cool. It was like a big game instead of like stuffed animals, you went albums, and they had a ton of all hard rock and metal stuff. And of course, I tried like 10 more times. I didn't win anything, but like it was like on the first try.
He really wanted the Yaz album, but they
The what?
Yeah, you remember Yaz?
No.
You don't remember Yaz?
Was that out when this was out?
It was back in the 80s.
I don't even know what that
It's
is.
a great synth pop duo. The guy
It wasn't even back then. It was out of format.
The guy
for me.
from Depeche Mode.
Even then it was
You know what Yaz is, right, BC?
I've heard of it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
The only Yaz I know is Carl Yastrzemski from the Red Sox. Right, BB?
That's right.
All right. All right. BC, did you think of something?
No, I mean, I just didn't know what it's called. It's Striper doing the cover songs.
The covering, yeah.
Oh, the covering.
I
Okay.
was drawing a total blank. Like,
That is a good album.
I threw that on. I mean, I like it. Just Heaven to Hell, Blackout. I mean, little Carry On Wayward Son.
I love On Fire.
I was going to say,
On Fire.
the version of On Fire is so good.
And then even that song, God. I mean, listen to the guitar in it.
It's good. And you know what? And it's weird. It was weird. I was thinking about this album the other day, and stupidly, when we did the first Jeopardy one, I went back and listened to a little bit of it just in prep for the second one, and I didn't even know that Highway Star was about Roadhead.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, and then I listened to, I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, here's
It
Striper
is
singing a
absolutely-
fucking blowjob in
It
a
is
car.
absolutely about a
I was
blowjob
like,
in a car.
okay. So that kind of, and it was funny because I just listened to that the other day.
See,
so.
BC thought it was just about a really good truck driver. Right?
See, God don't frown on everything.
He loves it. He needs it.
All right, guys. So that's what we got going out here. Dylan's going back to a little Among the Living from Anthrax. A little Suicide Solution from the tribute album of Ozzy. The covering for BC Striper. Great album. Great cover album. And my turn here.
Yeah.
I was listening. No, I was saving mine for last.
All right.
Damn it.
Last week, BB is this is definitely down to your alley.
Right.
Last week,
listen to
this
Chris
band
Cornell.
played this album in its entirety, so I had to listen to it again today. In Vegas, Styx played The Mission in its entirety in concert. So Todd Zuckerman, their awesome drummer, posted that they played it and it was fucking awesome, and I agree. So I had to go back and listen to that album again, and I think it's even better than it was before. That and today I was listening to Ugly Kid Joe, the 2015 album they had that come out uglier than they used to be. I was listening to the Decibel Geek podcast today, and they did like a looking forward to bands putting out albums, and they got to talking a little bit about Ugly Kid Joe. And Aaron Camaro told a cool story that when Black Sabbath was getting ready to practice for the last tour, for the end tour, that Ozzy didn't want anything to do with rehearsals. He said, fuck, I know all them songs, whatever. When he's reading it on the teleprompter with, like 18-inch letters. And they were looking for someone to sing with the band. And Whitford Crane, who was good friends with Ozzy and Sharon, got wind of it. And he called up Sharon and said, hey, I could do this. Let me do it. And she's like, I can't confirm or deny that it's going on. And he, bugged the shit out of her, I guess. And she's like, okay, I'll send you a plane ticket. So for all the rehearsals for the ending Black Sabbath tour, Whitford Crane sang all the fucking vocals for the practices for Sabbath. So Aaron, thank you for that cool story. It was, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, and then that was what made me wanted to listen to because I talked a little bit about the 2015 album, which I obviously have, but I hadn't listened to in a while. Great album. Wow. A great album. BC, you have it, right? Kick ass. Ugly Kid Joe is one of those bands that is totally fucking underrated. So,
Ugly.
all right, guys, before we get into the episode, let's take a little break for the news. All right, guys, this week in the news, not so shocking news. Vinnie Vincent canceled his shows on 3. Vinnie Vincent.
Vinnie
You
Vincent.
didn't even count.
We didn't even count.
Oh, did I count?
On 3.
I was wondering why everybody wasn't in sync with me.
Yeah, because...
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right. Anyways, yes, Vinnie Vincent canceled. Shocking news. Ridiculous. However... I was kind of shocked. I don't know if anybody saw this.
Robert Fleischman?
Robert Fleischman.
Yes, I did see that.
He wrote a post on Facebook.
I thought you were going to say poem.
I screenshotted it, but I didn't get the whole thing. I just heard news about Vinnie Vincent canceling his February show. I know people are disappointed, but I think it is good. Let him put together a band and show and show that he can be proud of. Vinny was told he would have a week of rehearsal and then 2 or 3 days at the venue where he was going to be playing to rehearse. But some of the musicians involved couldn't make it, and that they could only be there the day before the show to rehearse all the songs. That right there is a disaster. For him, for whoever would be there to witness someone jumping into a meat grinder. I know it's been an up and down escapade, but now he's free to do and put together something for you the way that he would be proud of, not some half-ass production.
Bullshit.
Okay, so the thing that makes me mad about that post, one, I don't like that he kept using ellipses like at the end of every fragment of a sentence.
What's an ellipses?
Well, like the dot dot dot, the dot dot dot, like.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah, but
It doesn't like when you do
it doesn't make sense
guess
when
not.
he did them. But besides how that's not correct, I think it's ridiculous that we're constantly making excuses like, oh, it's good that he's good. Nobody's gonna want to come to the show if he keeps canceling.
I'm not. I'm with Chris and Aaron, Decibel Geek. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, like it's
Sorry,
ridiculous.
BB, but you know what?
I was a Vinny guy too, but sometimes you got to cut your ties.
He's still the second best guitarist in Kiss.
I liked it better when there was the mystique and he was not around. So you kind of wondered if he straightened up, but now you know that it's not.
I think the thing that's shittiest about this is that we didn't get a statement from him. We got a statement from the venue. Like the venue posted.
And that
letter.
the Derek guy, the promoter guy, said
we
it's in
didn't
the
get-
hands of the
we didn't get a
lawyers
statement
now.
from
So
Vinny.
someone's suing someone, blah,
Well,
blah, blah.
because it's a breach of contract that he backed out of the show again. Like, it's bullshit. He keeps getting away with all this stupid
Keyword
shit.
again.
Yeah. And like I said, if he shredded for 20 seconds in Miami at that show, you'd be like, okay, maybe we're going to be good to go here. Maybe we're going to have something that's... But, like, honestly, and I can play a couple chords, and I honestly could have did exactly what the fuck Vinny did at that Miami show.
Yeah, I'm calling it. I think anybody that continues to want to see Vinny or like they're just holding
At your
out
own
for
risk.
something that's never going to
Beating
happen.
a dead horse
Yeah.
anymore.
And like I said, I feel bad for anybody that made arrangements for hotels and bought tickets and flights and shit like that. And, in February is not the most reliable weather to travel in either.
No.
Especially, they don't get a lot of snow and shit in, was it Nashville, right? It was switched to Nashville.
Memphis, Nashville.
But they get a lot of ice and stuff, but I'm sure people were coming from, like,
The one guy
Up here.
in one of the sites was saying, hey, I got my... Because somebody, rumor has it he canceled. The guy goes, well, I hope not. I have flights and hotels.
and some of that shit's probably, like, non-refundable.
Flights, I don't think, are.
Unless you get the,
If you're not going to do it, don't announce that you're going to do something.
Right.
I don't know. It's
Because
just,
you know as well as I do, we play a little licks of guitar, and he hasn't picked up. He said he has, but
He
you
said
know
he's been
hasn't.
practicing every
it's
day
not
for
like
the last
riding a
20
fucking
years.
bicycle. And you saw him down in Miami, and he
no way
he
he
did
played.
as much as a kid with 5 lessons under his belt can do what he did, and it's just disappointing that he actually made everybody believe he was still shredding and still able to do it and have all these people buy tickets and blah blah blah.
yeah,
like we
I
said.
mean, you got to keep your chops up. All right, enough for this guy. Fuck him. By the time you guys are listening to this, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, which will be February 1st, Kiss will have played their first End of the Road tour show, and it's in Vancouver, I believe, Vancouver, British Columbia. So what do you guys think? Are you guys, BB? I know you're not going. You bailed on us.
Hey, you never know. I still have Hershey.
Okay. Well,
I still have Hershey.
There's
'cause
still time to go to Philly too. There's still tickets.
I think that's in the middle of baseball. I'm
We're gonna have fucking snow here till May, so you're not gonna be worried about any goddamn baseball games.
The snow on the side of the road is going to
Yeah.
be here till at least May.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
So anyway, what do you guys think? I think we're gonna have the same old set lists, the same old blah blah blah. What do you guys think, BC?
I'm not holding my breath. I would hope, since it's the final, they would bring something out of the basement, closet, whatever you want to say, for the fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got the players that can play any damn song they have. So that's my thoughts.
I think they'll probably pull like one. They're gonna pull one out of the hat, like maybe like room service or something. Something different. And maybe even something Gene has been playing on his solo tour. You know, Gene's been practicing it, and like BC said, the other, you know, Tommy and Eric could play it just as long as Paul could sing it.
Well, as long as it's not any 80s guitar solos.
Yeah.
Tommy doesn't do too well on them. Sorry, Tommy. Go ahead, Dylan.
I would like to present Exhibit A, the set list to the first farewell tour that they did, where they did nothing surprising at all for the most part.
Actually, you know what? Screenshot that, and then when they play, we'll see how much difference there is. But read it off.
So Detroit Rock City, Deuce, Shout It Out Loud, I Love It Loud, Shock Me, Firehouse, Do You Love Me, Calling Dr. Love, Heaven's on Fire, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, 2000 Man, Guitar
BC
Solo.
fell asleep already.
Psycho Circus, Lick It Up, Bass Solo, God of Thunder, Cold Gin, 100,000 Years, Drum Solo, Love Gun, Black Diamond, and the encore is Beth and Rock and Roll All Night. So I don't hold out hope that they're going to shock the people.
How many songs is that?
I'm calling one.
23 songs.
23 songs?
But they're also counting the drum
Count
solo
the solos
and
as
guitar
songs.
solo. So 20
like-
songs.
Yeah, I don't see them doing Firehouse. I think that's even a deep track for them at this point.
Yeah, Do You Love
which
Me?
is sad.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know. But it's tough for me. I'm trying to, I said it last year on the podcast, I'm trying to stay old school, like blackout type shit, where there was no internet, where I go in fresh to a concert, where I haven't seen the stage or the set list and stuff like that. But like, it's
I think I'm
it's
going
like
to look.
2 months.
Yeah.
From the first show to when we go see them, I'm not
There's
going to
no
be
way-
able to hold out.
yeah, there's no
I'm
way
not
that
gonna
you're
be able to
gonna
hold
be
out
spoiler-free.
because I might as well just shut off my Facebook page and stop talking to anybody.
If it
If it was a week, maybe. But
You're
if it
gonna
was a
have to-
week, if it was 2 weeks, I think I could probably.
You're going to have to go
Hold on.
Unabomber, Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, I'm
no
gonna have to go
electricity.
completely off the grid to see nothing about this. So I think I'll just fuck it and bite the bullet and
Yeah. That's
just watch it and hope for the best. I hope Gene and Paul, please do right by us fans for once. Show us that the fans really are the boss, which we know that is not the case. We know Paul Stanley is the boss.
I think it would be cool if they did like a poll for the entire set list. They wouldn't do it at all. I mean, it's too late for that now.
Paul and
anyways,
Gene.
but-
Well, Paul is not going to want to relearn new songs.
Because-
At least Gene's been playing different stuff.
The thing that Paul's been saying about this tour is that it's a celebration of the band Kiss. It's a celebration of the band, and I don't see it. I could see him being like, oh, a celebration is playing the same old set list we always do, because that's celebrating the tried and true things. And he's consistently said, oh, these songs aren't hits for a reason. So I think
The ones they're playing aren't hit. They didn't have a lot of hits.
no, but you
They
know
have
what
popular
I mean. You know
songs
what I
with
mean.
with the casual Kiss fan.
Yeah, like you know what I mean.
I do.
And I don't see Paul going.
And did you
deep
also
into
see
that.
today that they said that they are going to have Ace and Peter play with them?
They said they would welcome it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They said they would
so-
welcome it.
That'd
And
be
Paul
cool.
said that
Not Vinnie
Paul
Vincent.
said
No.
that Vinnie Vincent he would not like to
Would not.
celebrate with
Yeah, I
them.
would
Yeah.
not like to
Yeah.
celebrate that band.
there's nothing to celebrate.
So now this brings up another topic for discussion. What about Bruce?
They
Is
They
Bruce-
included Bruce. They threw
did?
Bruce. They threw
Yeah,
Bruce in the
Oh,
mix
they
there.
Bruce it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had nothing but
Because,
positive things to
okay.
say about
They
Bruce.
interviewed Bruce and he said
Maybe if they do
he'll
any
be open to
80s
it.
Kiss songs, they could bring Bruce on the stage and do the
Right.
solos. And Tommy could take a powder for a couple songs,
That is true.
you know. Because
So he'll bring-
and it's not a knock against Tommy. He is been playing to be Ace for so many years. He doesn't have that quote unquote hair metal type soloing now, and in playing the Les Paul doesn't lend itself to playing those solos from the 80s. But you're not going to see Kiss Dig Deep where they're going to be doing, you know, like No 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 or
Right.
you know,
King of the Mountain.
King of the Mountain or something like
Yeah.
that, you know. But it's going to be interesting. So I'm not going to be able to hold out. And one more thing, real quick. Michael Sweet has apparently he's completed the album, right? BC, is that the thing? It's done or it's
He's
almost
doing it.
done?
Because
Doing
he
a
had
solo
stuff
album.
on Facebook of them jamming and recording the drums and
Yeah,
everything.
and he is going to have Joel Hoekstra on there, Jeff Loomis, Todd LaTorre is going to play some, or sing rather, I guess a duet with him, and Gus G and a guy named Andy James. I'm not sure, I don't know why that name sounds familiar, but I don't really know it. But Michael Sweet, the last album he had out was One Side of War, which is friggin' excellent album. So, and he's another guy, like we said, him. I mean, he pretty much is Stryper. He just gets better as he goes along.
Yeah, he's like fine wine. His voice is, top notch. Exciting to hear more new music from him because he sells his pipes, and that band is pretty stellar.
Yeah, and his material and Stryper's material gets stronger and heavier and harder as it goes along.
Not that that's a bad thing. No,
Not at all.
I can't wait to hear it. Like you said, he's one of those almost you know it's going to be good.
Right, because you look at those last 3 Stryper albums, they were freaking fantastic.
They're getting better as they go along.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, that's it for the news. Let's jump back into the show. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the news section of our show, and you guys are wondering, this is not part 2 of the BC's Greatest Hits album. We're going to do something a little different here this week, just the way that the calendar falls. My birthday episode.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, guys. looking at the calendar, if you're listening to this on the day it came out, my birthday was 2 days ago. And so we're going to do what's been a tradition for us on this podcast. The birthday boy picks 4 albums, 3 studio albums, 1 live album for everybody to review. And we just kind of talk about them, love them, hate them, bash them, whatever. That's up to every individual. So it's my turn this week. I just turned 51. Woohoo!
Just like the station?
Yeah, that's true. That's our station number of our fire department, actually.
Stephen 51 now.
I wanted to pick...
For the whole year, will be called Stephen 51.
Whoa.
Instead of Station 51.
There we go. We'll have to start radioing that. All right, so what I wanted to do when I picked my albums was I wanted to, in some way, pick something that would torture BB.
Yes!
So I picked The Mission again. No, I didn't.
We picked The Mission 4 times.
So we're going to do The Mission, and then Live Mission.
The Live Mission reissued.
Off YouTube.
The blue vinyl, the red vinyl.
So what I really wanted to do was I wanted to pick like a modern album, a classic album. So I wanted to do like 70s, 80s, 90s, and like 2000. Like 2000s, it's 20 years long, but there's only 4 albums. So I wanted to go with something a little newer. I hope you guys like my picks. My first pick is, I could not leave these guys out. You guys are probably totally sick of hearing me talk about these guys. But we're going to talk about the whole album this time because it's just absolutely fucking amazing from an amazing band. And it's Black Country Communion, BCC4. Came out September 22nd, 2017. It's produced by our good buddy that produced Iron Maiden, Rush, Joe Bonamassa, and it's Kevin Shirley was the producer on this album. And what I like about Black Country Communion, this last album that they put out, there's videos, all the videos from their songs on this shows them in the studio recording these songs. And I love that shit. Love seeing them produce the music and actually, make it and just to look and see. There's one part in the one song, and like Derek Sherinian is. Here's the band. But I'll give you the band first. It's Joe Bonamassa on guitar, Glenn Hughes vocals and bass, Jason Bonham on drums, and Derek Sherinian on keyboards. And as I was saying, Derek Sherinian, there's like one part in the one video. They're like, you see, he's like, woo, he's like just like totally pumped up, and it's a fantastic album. What do you want me to do? You want me to go through the songs myself, and then we'll talk about it, or?
Well, it's your birthday episode.
What do you think?
So you do whatever.
Well, I'm trying to think of how we did it.
We did it. We would just do like overall thoughts, and then
Pick a couple songs you like.
And stuff
But
like
if-
that.
hey,
That's
okay.
But it's
You
your
wanna go
birthday
over the whole
episode. Do
album?
what you want.
Okay. I'm gonna say you guys just seriously give this album a good listen. Overall, there's only one song I think that maybe kind of drags a little bit, but I think the musicmanship on this album is fantastic. And Joe Bonamassa sings one song on this album, last song for My Resting Place. It's about the violin player in the band that played on the Titanic that was actually still playing when the ship was sinking, and it's about him. It's a very very emotional song. It's got a great picks up, and the solo like totally fucking shreds. I'm just going to go through the songs real quick here because I just absolutely love this album. Collide, it sounds a little bit like they mess up in the beginning. It's got a heavy riff in it. Over My Head, I absolutely love this song. It's got very melodic vocals. It has that awe factor for me. Glenn Hughes' pipes in the song are fucking fantastic. Just talked about last song from Resting Place is great. Sway, got a great sound. It's an up-tempo rocker. The vocals are great, and it changes tempo again. The solo in it is fucking ripping. The Cove starts out a little mellow, and this song sounds like Led Zeppelin. It has a Zeppelin-like riff in it. Not that that's a bad thing, but you can automatically kind of hear that. A little maybe ode to them. The Crow, this song is an amazing song. It just rocks. It showcases all the members in the band, just totally fucking kicks ass. Wanderlust, mid-tempo, great soulful vocals in that song, the longest song on the album. Love Remains, another Zeppelin-sounding riff. Very good. It's got a great flow to it. Awake, great guitar and keyboard back and forth in that song. When the Morning Comes, it's mellow. It's got a mellow vibe to it. It's got the cool Hammond organ sound in it that I think is really cool. Overall, I think it's an amazing album. The production is fantastic on there. The musicianship is second to none. And I highly recommend this album to everybody. All except for the Joe Bonamassa song. Glenn Hughes wrote all the lyrics for this, and Joe and Glenn wrote all the songs. So there's no contributions from Jason Bonham and Derek Sherinian on this album. It's just fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favorite albums. It's one of my go-to albums. What do you think, fellas?
I'll step in here.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Usually you'll aside somebody.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
I know, but I needed a drink because there was a lot of talking all at once there.
You throw this album on, and like you said, you just it's an album you can enjoy. Nothing grabs me about it, and I don't mean that badly. Just you put it on, it's like you're not fast forwarding through it. You just listen to it. I mean, Over My Head, that groove just reminds me of some other song. I can't place it. Anybody help me out?
That was not one of the ones I wrote down. That it sounds like something else.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. There's another one too.
I bet you we're on the same page here.
We might be.
And then I know. I mean, like I said, I can throw this on and just let it play and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But some of my standouts are Sway, The Crow, Love Remains. There were some of my standouts.
Yeah, I think Joe Bonamassa is definitely the all-star of this band. He really carries this album, in my opinion. Collide, if you actually listen to Collide and think of Last in Line from their first album, I think that sounds just like Last in Line.
The band
Sway,
or the song?
No, the band.
Okay.
The Heaviest Crown. That was the
Heavy Crown.
Heavy Crown.
Yeah.
I think that song, for some reason, I'm like, whoa, wow, it sounds like Last in Line, the band. Sway, I think sounds just like the Winery Dogs. You already said Love Remains sounds like Led Zeppelin. The Crow, Killing in the Name Of.
I was thinking Bulls on Parade, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Rage Against the Machine. That riff is literally the Bulls
Oh
on
my
Parade.
God,
Which
yeah.
song?
The Crow.
The Crow. It's literally the Bulls on Parade riff, like at the beginning.
Yeah.
The Bannon, Bannon.
That-
Like
Oh, okay.
It just keeps going in Bulls on Parade, but they do like a little trail off in. That was exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. But it's funny, when you said the last song for my resting piece, I'm thinking, but I didn't really get deep into this album. But man, like this is the shittiest song, but it's the most kick-ass guitar solo in it. And I didn't even know Joe Bonamassa wrote it and sang on it. I knew it sounded different, but I just assumed it was Glenn Hughes singing it. But now I kind of feel bad I wrote that down.
Well, I think that's the most musically diverse song on there because you have the violins. He starts out with the mandolin.
Right.
I think it's just musically. I think that is the best song on the album. That and The Crow. Because The Crow showcases the whole band. I mean, there's just that kick-ass.
Because there's that one part of The
in the
Crow.
middle.
There's a bass, and then you can hear
the
like
keyboards.
the keyboard, and then the guitar solo. Like it's all layered like perfectly.
Yeah, that's the song that fucking rips.
Yeah. Of all the albums tonight, this is probably my favorite. I liked it the first time I heard it. And it's funny because the last song from My Resting Place, the first time I heard it, I didn't like it at first. And I'm like, this is dragging quite a bit. I don't like where it's going. I don't like what it. But then the solo kicks in, and I'm like, oh no, this is the best song. So the solo swayed me. I like the Cove a lot for being kind of a mellower song to start. I think it picks up pretty well. I love the Crow. The chorus for Wanderlust sounds like something from like Iommi Hughes. Like it sounds like it could be like with Dopamine or any of the songs.
Oh my god, that album is.
That was my immediate thought when I heard the chorus of it, like how the progression of it. I was just like, Iommi Hughes.
Yeah. And actually, Iommi Hughes, that album, if that was available on iTunes and everybody could listen to it, I would have picked that album. Right. That album is, oh my god.
Yeah, and the Crow definitely sounds like Bulls on Parade. It is literally the same exact riff. Maybe a step up or down. I can't remember which one because I listen to them back to back, and it's literally the same.
It's funny.
I didn't realize that because I was thinking it sounded like something. But
yeah, I'll play them back to back for you, like during the break.
What the hell it was,
and you'll be like, yeah, that's it. But all in all, this was my favorite of the albums that we listened to tonight.
You're not supposed to reveal that.
Why? Okay, well,
too late.
You'll find out what my favorite album is. Soon enough.
Dylan ruined it. That's why we can't have nice things, Dylan.
Yeah. Well, I won't tell you what my least favorite album is.
All right. Till the end. All right. Like I said, I really enjoyed that album, and I know I've been kind of. I think we all have our little. Maybe they're like my Lizzy Borden, maybe.
And my Black Label.
And BC's Black Label, and Dylan's all his auto format shit.
No, it's not a format.
Well, no, I will say which one was my least favorite.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Hey, I'm not picking them for you to like them. I'm picking them because I like them, and I'm hoping that and that's the idea of this episode. Hopefully that if it's something that we all wouldn't normally listen to, maybe you could get something good out of it, or an album that you never heard before that was kick-ass. Like, and I gotta say, like Dylan with actually two for Dylan that stand out for me are the Dead Girls Academy that he had in his picks at the end of the year, and the My Chemical Romance Black Parade album. It's like fucking just amazing, absolutely fucking amazing.
You bought that on vinyl too, didn't you?
Yeah. I did buy it on vinyl. I bought both of them on vinyl.
And that's funny. The day you posted that, I had no clue what it was. So that's, I think I commented on it. I just assumed it was that.
The vinyl cover is so different. It's such a different cover.
It is.
It's like the full band.
Right, but if on the iTunes, it's just the one majorette guy, like in a gray background. That's what you've seen on iTunes. But the album cover is that
like the whole parade
fucking thing. Yeah. So so don't despair, Dylan. All right, the next album I picked is this band is led by this one guy. You may know him. His name is James Wilkerson, a.k.a. Jizzy Pro. The band is LoveHate. The album came out in 1992. It's called Wasted in America. And this is a band that I saw them on their first tour. They opened up for AC/DC. I saw them in Binghamton, New York. They opened up for AC/DC on the Razor's Edge tour.
Okay.
They were fantastic. They were at that time, if you listen to Blackout in the Red Room and think of the year that came out, like either 90 or 91. I want to say 1990 that one came out. And 1990, right? And they got on the tour with AC/DC for Razor's Edge. And that was, if you think of what was out then, that was so different from all the other stuff that was out. I mean, take like great bands like Roxy Blue and Tora Tora and
Heaven's Edge.
I was just gonna say Heaven's Edge. All the bands that came out in that era, they sound nothing like them. Nothing like them at all. And when they recorded this album, the record company rejected all the songs that they had out for this album because the band, which actually blew my mind to hear it, that the band wanted to go in a more commercial direction, not in the same direction that the first album was in. And the record company's like, no, we want you guys to be you guys. Don't try to be something you're not. And for a record company to not want a band to be more commercial is like almost unheard of. And so they got together, they wrote this album, and I remember when this came out, and like the cover is like really weird, and and I first put it on, and then but when you put this album on, the first two LoveHate albums, I think they go together perfectly. It's a perfect progression from the first album.
Like shoo bop shoo wada wada yippity boo boo.
Okay.
That's from Greece.
I know it's from Greece, though. I'm not sure what it has to do with LoveHate.
You were saying they go together.
Oh. Okay. All right, now I get it.
Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
All right, back to reality, people. All right. And this is an album. This is another one that I could always throw on. My only caveat to this album is I think that there's like 3 songs on this album that don't even belong on this album. I think 3 songs are maybe 3 of those commercial songs that they wanted to sneak in. And I'm glad they're at the end of the fucking album. Songs like Wasted in America is a great start. And the guitar player, Johnny Love, this guy fucking tears it up on this album. There is some great goddamn guitar soloing on this album. Musically, it's great. The drums sound excellent. Songs like Wasted in America, like the very beginning of it just sounds cool. And then it just, bang, it kicks in. It's a great vibe to that song. The drumming is really good. I like when he says, they get wasted in New Jersey, wasted in Illinois, wasted in California, and Texas, saying, yo. It's so cool and then that's something they can do in concert, and in any one in concert when they throw out the town's name that they're in, like people go nuts. It's a perfect thing to translate great live. Spit, I love. It just starts out throbbing, pulsating, gyrating, hyperventilating, till we pass out on the floor. And then, pow, kicks in. It's like, holy fuck. It's like just crazy. And then that comes back through the song as you go along. I mean, really great. Miss America, the next song. Not the Styx version. Sorry, BB. I know you were hoping that it was the fucking Styx version.
Thank God, because this one's awesome.
I will kill you. I will kill you. Joe Polo, here's where the episode finally breaks out into a fight. I love the melodic middle in it. This song gets a little tedious, I think, as you go along. I think they could have shortened it by about a minute. The chorus gets a little crazy. Cream, this is one of the highlights of the album. I think he channels Jim Morrison in this song.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so cool. He kind of makes fun of the end, the song "The End." When he walked down the hall. Just listen to this song. It is so cool. She's a nymphomaniac in black. She wants your peaches, but all you get is cream. Just great song. Yucca Man, very cool song. The bass is great in it. Good rocker. The lead work in this song is fucking excellent. Also, Happy Hour, excellent rocking song. There's a video for this song. It's really cool. Absolutely love this one. The guitars are awesome. Definitely, I'll channel a little bit of Peter Cesare from the I Love It Loud cast. It's an outrageous song. I think it's very cool. Tranquilizer starts out a little mellow, but then it fucking kicks in.
It goes from first year to fifth.
Yeah. It's what Tranquilizer, Hypnotizer. I'm your cold Budweiser. The solos are great, and tons of shredding in that song. Time's Up. I love the vibe of that song. It's an awesome song. I think it's the best on the album. I love the guitar work on this one. And then the album goes kind of where the needle like that. Here's these 3 songs I think that I don't fit on the album. Don't Fuck With Me. I think it's a very weak song. I think they tried to be funny. Didn't translate for me. Don't Be Afraid. It doesn't fit the album. I don't think it fits the album at all. Social Sidewinder. Another song I think that just doesn't fit on this album. Yeah. I mean, Evil Twin, they bring it back a little bit. I think if they knocked those 3 songs off and made it like a 9-song album, I think it would be a absolute perfect album. But notwithstanding those 3 songs, this is an album you can put on and just fucking rock out to.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100%. This album is fantastic. I totally agree with you. I would say Don't Fuck With Me is all right, but definitely you stop at 8, I'll stop at 9. but like the last couple songs are kind of crappy. I love Happy Hour. I think it's a really cool song. It almost starts off like the Jackass theme.
Yeah, with that.
It starts off like a Jackass.
I never thought of that.
And I actually went back and I'm like, well, I actually had to search who sings the Jackass theme, and then I played that. And I played this, and it's like super close.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, I figured who's going to think of Love Hate as an opening theme?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, but it's not. It's some other band.
It is not.
It is not. Tranquilizer, like you said, I love how it goes from first gear to fifth. Even though they say Painkiller like 20 times in that song, it still kicks ass. Spit is such an awesome song. I have no fucking clue what it's about because I even read the lyrics.
So would you say that it don't mean spit to you?
It doesn't. Don't mean spit.
The bigger the cushion, the better the pushing.
Yeah. Between the solo and the riffs is fantastic. It's like Faster Pussycat meets like Steel Panther or something.
Put the spit on it, BB.
Put the spit on it. Like,
spit on it. Watch some porno, BB. You know what he's talking about.
But yeah, great pick. I love this album.
I agree. I mean, this picked up where Blackout in the Red Room left off, I think. Everything you guys said so far, I agree with 100%. This is probably my second out of all your picks. Don't Be Afraid and Social Sidewinder. They'd be the only two I take out this. I like Don't Fuck With Me because I like the word fuck because it's one of my favorite words. Because I say it in every other sentence. It's a little pop-ish, I know what you mean. It kind of doesn't fit the album. I just like Don't Fuck With Me.
BC just likes the word.
I just like the word, so I mean, it could be a country song and that's the already. But Spit, Yucca Man, Time's Up. Evil Twin, I like Evil Twin, like you said. That kind of
brings it back. Brings
it
it back
a
to
little bit
the
there.
end.
It was going.
I think they could have knocked off those three songs through Evil Twin somewhere in the middle and ended it with maybe Tranquilizer. Would have been a cool ending to the album, I think. It just did like go out like just rocking the fuck out.
Go drink your cold
Budweiser.
Yeah.
Would you get cold Corona Light? Or Miller Lite, whatever.
Something different.
I came out with this with a very negative opinion because of those songs. Because they ended the album, and I'm like, that was... Because I absolutely hate Don't Fuck With Me. I thought that was the stupidest song
I agree.
I have heard in a very long time. I'm like, this is... Like, are they trying to be funny? Because it's not
That's what I
funny at
thought.
all.
It didn't translate.
Like, it was stupid. It came off as them being, like,
it doesn't
fucking
fit
idiots.
the rest of the songs, no.
I thought Don't Be Afraid was stupid, too. I didn't like that at all.
Which one?
Don't Be Afraid. I thought that
one.
was, like, really, really weird and stupid. I didn't mind Social Sidewinder and Evil Twin, but those two songs really ruined the entire album for me. Like, when I finished it, I came with a negative outlook because of those two songs. But looking back at my notes, I do have some songs that I thought were really good. Like, I like the energy in Spit. Like, that's a really good, energetic song. I like the groove of Yucca Man, or really kind of a coolish. It does kind of have a Faster Pussycat-ish vibe at times. Kind of little Madame Ruby's Love Boutique trans little bit there. Happy Hour, I like that it's weird, but it's cool. Like the verses are a little weird. There's a weird time change in that I really like, but God, those two songs are horrible. They are garbage songs.
They are, I agree. And if you listen to that album and you disregard those shitty songs, these guys do sleaze. This is like sleaze rock.
Yeah.
This is like
Definitely.
This is what you need to do. And you can put this version of sleaze rock up against Faster Pussycat, L.A. Guns. Listen to the music. Listen to the lyrical content in this. These guys are filthy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that Spit was not a Kiss cover and that Miss America was not a Styx cover.
You and BB both. But if you want to listen to some true sleaze rock, disregard track 9, 10, and 11, and a little bit of 12. Listen to the rest of the songs. There's some sleaze rock gold here. Gold, Jerry, gold.
Like, and it sucks
Golden
because
shower ready.
if I didn't know
that?
that everybody else didn't like those songs, because I went in thinking that you thought that the entire album was good,
Right.
and I'm like, God, this album is not good. But those
But
like,
when
three
I went
songs
into this,
are
I
horrible.
forgot about those songs because I never listened to them.
Yeah,
But then when I was kind of writing down my notes on it. I'm like, oh, I forgot about
on
the fucking shitty songs on here.
A very sour note.
Yeah, and I think they're the songs that they wanted to do. So I hope that the record company was absolutely right. So if these are the songs that they kind of wanted to sneak in there of the direction that they wanted to go, and very rarely you'll hear anybody say the record company was fucking right.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Don't Fuck With Me is one of
In
the
the way they
stupid songs
I
I've
mean,
ever heard.
were they talking to the record company in that song?
Maybe. And it's funny, like if you read the lyrics, and
a song
they're
called
so
Peace.
different in the way they sing.
Yeah,
like
they're
they
lyrics
you
are
would think
stupid.
where they should stop, they don't stop, and it's so unique of what
In a bad way.
how they do it. No,
And Don't Fuck With Me?
yeah.
He means overall. He means overall.
I mean overall in a lot of the songs.
Yes. No, I agree.
They're all-
there's a
that is
lot
cool.
of there's a lot of different
thought we were
phrasing of
still talking about
songs
that
in this
song.
album that
No.
they go places like you're like, wow, that's
That's
kind of didn't expect that, but it works. I think I think it's so you guys seriously check it out. Like I said, Disregard, track 9, 10, 11, maybe a little bit of 12.
Burn Don't Fuck With
Unless
Me
you're
on
BC,
fire.
listen to Don't Fuck With Me. But I think
BC won't fuck with you.
That gets the patented Dylan thumbs down.
We know Dylan's number 4 tonight.
Honestly,
we'll see.
honestly,
Son
I
of a
think
piece.
because of those 3 songs,
Those 3 songs are Dylan's BB's mission.
That's right.
it's bad. They're bad. Like I listened to it and I'm like, it almost like he was going for like a preachy vibe with it, like, oh, don't, because we're all, and I'm like, fuck
Badasses.
you, dude.
We're
Fuck you.
badasses.
He's trying to
It makes me hate Jizzy Pearl's
turn the
person.
world together.
It all, like, if that's actually what he thinks, I don't like him. I hope that's a joke
I don't think
song.
he was. I think that
I hope it's
the
a
bass
joke
player
song.
Skid is
was
the main songwriter in this
Songwriter,
band.
yeah. he
Well,
was.
if that's how he
So-
actually thinks, I hate Skid.
So
Skid marks.
Skid
marks.
marks done no sounds.
that was the skid mark on the album.
I hope
That's like
I hope those were jokes.
To me,
I honestly do.
Those 3 songs don't fit. Like
Not at all.
they don't fit the album.
they don't fit the album.
Like content wise or sound wise.
Yeah.
They're just
Like
not.
melody wise, they're just
No,
different.
they don't fit
That's
on that
like
album.
that's
think
like their
which one
fucking
comes
big
back.
dictionary. Those songs.
That's for sure. But definitely check out Kick Axe. And let's talk about Jizzy Pearl a little bit. This guy. All right, BC, we've seen him in LoveHate. I've seen him twice.
Right.
We've seen him in Rat. We've seen him in LA Guns.
LA Guns.
And Quiet Riot. We
Quiet
saw him in
Riot. Oh,
Quiet
shit,
Riot
yeah.
also.
He's been around.
And I want to say there was a stint in Warrant, maybe? But I remember seeing him vividly with all those other bands.
Quiet Riot, I forgot about
He
that.
was kind of like the have voice, will travel kind of guy. Cool stage presence, though.
Oh,
We saw him, actually, we saw him at M3 a couple times. We saw it at M3 with Quiet Riot. We saw it at M3 with LoveHate. And
Adler's Appetite. He was with.
Adler's Appetite he played with, too. But it wasn't him when we saw them, though.
Nah.
It wasn't him we saw them. But, like...
There is some
The good, and his album last year was a great fucking album.
That was my surprise.
Yeah, that
Right
was
under-
a great surprise
You
album.
guys see Sin City Sinners?
No, but he's one of the founding members of that band.
Yeah.
And good friends with our buddy Todd Kearns out there. Sin City Sinners, freaking excellent. I still could have seen them do Rock and Roll Over. Grrr. All right, there's the first half of my birthday picks, and so you guys check them out. Check out Black Country Communion, BCC4. Check them out as a band. They have 4 studio albums and 1 live album. And check out LoveHate. They have Blackout in the Red Room, Wasted in America's Next.
That's
They got a couple ones after
That's
that.
Rumble. Then they kind of got.
They kind of got a little crazy, but check out the new Jizzy Pearl album. I think it's all you need is soul.
All you need is soul.
I think it's called from last year,
It's
which
great.
is a phenomenal album.
Really
that's an album that I wish there were a couple songs taken off of that in place of those 3 crappy songs in this album.
I knew it'd be good, but it was real good.
It was
Surprisingly good.
surprisingly how good it was. It really was. It was had a great vibe to the album. It's a fun album to listen to. It's a rocker too. It's fucking excellent. And I got to look into that one a little. I need to get that one on vinyl, I think. I need to get a little vinyl, a little Jizzy Pro there. And BB, I know you're wondering what his name means. You're going to have to look it up.
Oh.
You got to look take.
Is that like a pearl necklace?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
You're in the neighborhood.
Kind of like that. All right, so there's 2 down. We got 2 to go. But before we do that, let's do a little hidden gem. All right, guys. Last week we didn't actually have enough time to do a hidden gem because we had so much to go over. So we're going to get right back into it this week. And BC, wow us. Give us that wow factor, BC.
Black Country, do it.
There's a guy called Lizzy Borden.
Crickets.
Oh, did I tell you I'm going to be...
You said a guy? That's a guy?
I go back to 2003 with the 40-foot Ringo.
What? 40-foot Ringo?
40-foot, the band's 40-foot Ringo.
Like Ringo Starr?
Yes.
Huh.
And the album's called Funny Thing. That's Steve Brown and P.J. Farley from the band Trickster. Trickster was kind of, I don't know, they're on a hiatus then, and these two came out.
I think so, because like Steve Brown's been doing stuff. He's played with Def Leppard a couple times. He's doing the Tokyo Motor Fest he did.
These two guys got together and 2 other unknown guys and came out with this album. It's just a good old...
That was a Kibble Records band, wasn't it? Or no?
I'm not sure. That might have been.
That was around. That was come out in the 90s. That was when we were going to the Kiss Expos, early 90s.
But, 2003 this came out.
Okay, or later.
Anyway, songs like Freak Like You, Inside Your Head, and Unbroken. I mean, it's just good old, if you like Trickster and kind of good old rock, check it out.
It is good. I remember that was one of the bands of the CDs that we picked up at one of the Kiss Expos. Late 90s, early 2000s band. Really, really good, though. And boy, that's a name of a band I haven't fucking heard in a long time.
I think they played one in it. Didn't they play one in it?
They might have played. They might have, now that you say that. Yeah.
It's so much in my head. It just...
All right. Cool. I will say good pick and actually know what I'm fucking talking about. All right, Dylan, give us the best. Hit us with a wet snot here.
Well, I am still sick, so that can be arranged.
Yeah, let's not then.
Just kidding.
My pick is an album from a band that I first listened to back in the early 2011. This album came out, so it was around then during my formative years. I listened to a lot of bands in 2011. That was like my year of discovering bands. But this was a band that was kind of in the 97.9 realm, Octane, that kind of band. The band's called Egypt Central, and the album is called White Rabbit. It's a really cool album. It's that modern metal.
Not Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit.
Not Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit, true. Some good songs on there. Ghost Town, the title track White Rabbit. Kick Ass is really good on there. But it's a really cool, just straightforward modern rock album. Dad, I know you listened to the first track.
I did. I didn't hate it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good song. I mean, I didn't get a chance to listen to anything else, but the first song I thought was really good.
Yeah,
and it would be someone that I would check out.
Yeah,
but they're no longer.
This was
right?
This was their last album. The bassist and the singer went on to form Devour the Day. If you've heard of them, they're not too bad. I like Egypt Central a little better. And if you really want to check out Egypt Central, they only had 2 albums out, so it's not too much of a deep dive. One of them is self-titled. The other one is the one that I'm having as my hidden gem, White Rabbit.
I remember hearing that name after you said that. They played on one of the tours.
They toured
back in the not that long ago, like on one of the Monster Drink ones or one of the what are those?
Yeah, some of the bands that they've played with. You probably saw them with Hinder and Saving Abel.
I had never seen them. I never saw them.
No, but you saw Hinder, right? That one time?
I saw Hinder, yeah.
Yeah,
Hinder and Saving. So they've been on with bands like that.
No, that was the tour, so you might have missed them on that tour.
They didn't. That might have been a date that they didn't play because it was Saving Abel, and then Hinder, and then
Adelita's Way.
No.
Okay. Well.
Nickelback was like the main one in that thing.
Oh, so it was probably the Monster Energy.
One of those. Or
Rockstar.
Rockstar. One of them things.
But they played with like Disturbed, Seether, Seven Dust. So they're in that realm.
So if you like that stuff, you will definitely like those guys. Yeah. And I'm going to go next, actually. Speaking of Octane on Sirius XM, the other day driving up, coming home from, I don't even know what the hell we were doing. We went for lunch or something. My younger son, Carson, was driving us, which is nice. I felt chauffeured around. And a lot of times he'll play hip-hop shit just to drive me fucking insane. I just want to jump out of the vehicle when that shit starts to play. And but he had Octane on, and this one song come on, and I'm like, wow, I really like the song. I'm like, and I said to him, I said, if this song has a guitar solo, I'm going to listen to this whole album, and I'm going to like it. And it actually did. I don't remember what song it was, but I do remember the band, and I did listen to the whole album. I listened to it today, and it was good. It was really good. There's one slow song that I thought kind of sucked, but and the band is called I Prevail.
Oh, they are really good,
and I enjoyed it. It's got some, I won't say a little bit of screaming in it, but nothing that you can't understand. Not like Cookie Monster stuff, just like some like Bullet for My Valentine type screaming.
Okay.
Like maybe some of the stuff you might get in like Avenged Sevenfold, stuff like that kind of thing. And just a great album. The album that it's on is called Lifelines. It came out in 2016. I highly recommend it. I thought it was very cool, and I really enjoyed it. Something different, a little more modern for me, I would say.
They do a cover of Blank Space by Taylor Swift. That's pretty good.
Now, see, if I listened to that, I would not even know that it was a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, it's...
Because she's definitely not in format.
Yeah. No, she's... I agree, she's not in format.
Sorry, BB. We ruined your pick. Man. You got to pick something besides Taylor Swift today. Go ahead.
We'll give you 2 minutes.
We'll let you think about it a little bit.
Cyrus.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, did you ever hear this guy called Zach Wilde? He's got this band
He's
called
got a
Black
beard.
Label Society.
BLS.
He didn't have a beard at one time, but now he has
got
a
a lot
beard.
of albums, and there's like Pride and Glory and stuff.
And if you listen to them, they all sound the same.
There's Zach Sabbath.
He listens.
But, all right, how about we do something from the Chris Cornell tribute?
There you go.
As we released this probably about 2 weeks ago, was on January 16th. They had a big concert out in the Forum in California. There was Audioslave, Metallica, a whole bunch of bands came together. They had a nice little tribute to Chris Cornell, raised a lot of money for his foundation him and his wife started for unfortunate children. I'm going to talk about the Audioslave song, Show Me How to Live. The lead singer was Dave Grohl. He was...
Who?
Wow.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On bass, Robert Torillo. The guitar, Tom Morello. And on drums, Brad Wilkes. So the only two guys that are left on Audioslave, Brad and Tom, they came together. And let me tell you, Dave Grohl really gave a fantastic tribute to Chris Cornell. He really sang his heart out. Fantastic. It was probably the highlight of the show. Crowd got into it. Crowd's jumping around crazy. Check it out. It's all on YouTube. There's nothing officially released yet, but I'm sure there'll probably be some kind of CD
DVD
release,
type
something released, and fantastic.
And that's a song. I actually know that song.
See?
I'm not sure that Dave Grohl guy. I don't think I've ever heard of him, but
No.
He's in a little band.
Yeah.
Just a little one.
Alliterative.
all right, cool, guys. Hope you enjoyed the gems. And like I said before, many episodes that we do these for a reason. Hopefully, it's something you guys will check out, and we'll introduce you to something that you maybe have not heard, or something that you may have heard of and didn't really check out.
See, you could check out Dave Grohl because you never heard of him.
That's
So
true.
check that song
That's
out.
true. I heard he does a song "Rope" and it's terrible.
Oh my God.
And it's also a good time in the show for us to bust balls with one
That's
another
right.
also.
Amen.
All right, so for BB, we have Chris Cornell tribute that just took place last week. I'm going to say a week or two ago. Show Me How to Live with Dave Grohl, Brad Wilk, Tom Morello, and
Robert Trujillo.
Robert Trejo from Metallica. And 40-Foot Ringo, Funny Things album from BC. That one might be a little tough to find, but you could probably pull them up on YouTube.
That's a name.
Yeah, man.
You could probably pull them up on YouTube and find them. If they are available, I will post them on our Facebook page. And Dylan, Little Egypt Central, White Rabbit, not the Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit, which is actually kind of a cool song also. But Egypt Central, kind of more modern metal type thing. And for me, I Prevail, Lifelines album from 2016. Definitely a different pick for me. I usually don't,
No, they're good.
I like to jump out of that box every now and then. And I hope you guys enjoyed the hidden gems. I will post whatever I can find from these hidden gems, and hope you guys enjoy them. And we will jump back right into the show. And I will keep talking. All right. We did 2 albums. We did Black Country Communion 4 from 2017. We did LoveHate, Wasted in America from 1992. So now we're going to jump back to the year 1984.
So that's not 1985, because then you can make all the Back to the Future
Oh,
references.
wait, we're supposed to do 1984 by Van Halen?
Yes.
Oh,
Starts
damn
out
it.
with this crappy keyboard thing.
Oh, my Lord.
It's called 1984. It's the title track. The title track.
Who's the president in 1985?
Ronald Reagan.
The actor?
Yeah.
He's the guy with the monkey.
Okay, BC just informed me that you can find 40-Foot Ringo on YouTube. So I will post
But not on
something
Apple
from
Music.
Not on Apple Music
Nope.
and not on Amazon Music either. So they were kind of on an independent label. I want to say Cable Records, but I don't quote me on that.
But send me $9.95 and I can ship you a copy.
And I actually have
On cassette.
We actually bought. No, we bought the
CD.
CDs. We bought the CDs. Cassettes were gone by the time we had that, though. They were phased out. They were phased out. Okay, so this album I'm going to talk about now came out in 1984, and this was an album that I picked up sight unseen, unheard. It was one of them deals. You're going through the section in the record store. Yes, record stores making a comeback. Hopefully, came upon this album, and like I said before, myself, Rob, and Chris would pick up different albums. We'd all check them out, and I came upon this one. The band from Canada. This came out May 14th, 1984. I don't think I got it on the 14th. It might have been a little later down the road. And this album was produced by the producer that produced Quiet Riot Mental Health. That's okay, BC.
Slipped up.
That's all right. That's okay. Spencer Proffer. And from Pasha Records, he was their in-house producer. And he produced these guys. And the album is Vices by Canadian band called Kick Axe. Now, when I came upon this album, I'm like, whoa, that name is fucking cool, because it sounds like kick ass. And the album cover was cool. It was like this mechanical vice robot head and with these teeth in a vice crushing the word vices. So I think, hey, we'll check this shit out. Like boom, I turn it over. I'm like, it's got to be good. Look at the first song. It's called Heavy Metal Shuffle. I'm like, this has got to fucking kick ass. Take it home, slice it up. Because actually, I think I still
sliced it up?
Huh? I sliced it open. I'm sorry. I sliced it open because I want to say I think I still have the plastic on my album. I think. But you would do that. Think you would protect your albums? You would slice that bad boy open and you would like take the album out very carefully, put it on a turntable.
Let's watch these guys slice that fat bastard open.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, and I was not disappointed. Sometimes you'd pick up an album, sight unseen, you'd be like, okay, better luck next time, fellas. But this one, totally just blew me away. And this is another album that I could put on at any time, and I just enjoy it. This album shouts like 80s hard rock to me, and just like, wow, just a great album you can put on any time. Heavy Metal Shuffle starts out with this huge scream. Like, I can't even attempt to do it because I'll sound absolutely more terrible than I sound. The band hit the stage. They were 10 feet tall. Great. And this album has a great drum sound on it. I think it's great. This guitar playing is great on this song. Next song, Vices. Very cool drum sound at the beginning. And actually, a lot of these songs in this album, if you guys listen to it, they kind of fade into one another. A lot of the songs, there's almost like it fades out, but it fades back into a whole other thing.
That's so cool.
You notice that, BC? Mm-hmm. And I really like that because it's cool. It's almost like some of the songs are just like a continuation, but in a totally different kind of song. But they fade into one another. Listen to the album, you'll know what I mean. Stay on Top. Love this song. It's in this album. Awesome background vocals on this album. I can't stress enough how much the background vocals on this album. BC is over there playing like fucking air drums like you would not believe over there. And it's got a little drum solo in it. And then this is another song that fades into the next song. And it's got a little acoustic beginning. Dreaming About You is the name of the song. It fades in, then it kicks up the thing. It's kind of ballady a little bit. Really good song. The background vocals, another friggin' great background vocal song, and then the acoustic guitar fades back out at the end, which is really cool. Maneater kind of like the song fades into that one. It's a stomping rocker. It's it's a decent song. It's one of my least favorite ones on the album. I could kind of, if there was a skip around the album, this might be it, but it's not bad enough where you'll actually get up off your ass, lift the needle, and skip the fucking song. On the Road to Rock, kick-ass fucking song. It was the first single from the album. It's got great background vocals. It's got a little grindage in it. Cool middle. The lead breaks are really cool. It's got a good vibe to the song. The next song, Cause for Alarm, which is one of my favorite songs on there. It's got like an opening bell in it. Kind of like what you would hear at like the stock exchange. It's supposed to be like a fire alarm or something, I guess. But, the background vocals are great. The guitar playing is great in that song. Alive and Kickin's got a howling beginning. Johnny, 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 Johnny. So I know BC will, like, we'll say Johnny. BC will do that in there. And it's kind of a different sounding song for this album. I think it fits, but it's like kind of stands out on its own as a different kind of sounding song. And at the end, I love the end. Kick it. Cool ending to the song. All the Right Moves is the next song. Another great rocker. This is just a good, solid rock song. The background vocals are great. Listen to the outro solo on this song. This guy tears it the fuck up. Just passing through. It's got a cool riff. It's got a good vibe to it. I think it's a great ending song. You know, like they came, they kicked your ass, and these guys are just passing through your hard rock, your metal life, and taking you along for a good time. I think it's a fantastic album. I love this one from the get-go. The awesome background vocals, and the vocalist is freaking great too. Just a great vibe for the whole album. The album cover is very cool too. That's what actually initially drew me to it. Cool name. Dylan.
Okay, so this
album
was a little weird for me because I put it on. Heavy Metal Shuffle comes on. It's a song I had heard before. I liked it, and then I go through, and I'm listening to each of these songs, and I'm like, okay, you know, it's an 80s metal album. Like, nothing's grabbing me. I'm not like in love with this album. This isn't an amazing album to me. I'm like, okay, this is okay. I would listen to Maneater. I'm like, okay, that's good. But then once we get to On the Road to Rock, the album turns to 11 and then keeps turning the dial past 20, 30, 40, 50. I think this is one of the few albums where I love the back half more than I like the front half. I think On the Road to Rock, Down are all phenomenal songs. I don't really care too much about the first half of the album, except for Heavy Metal Shuffle for the most part. They're okay songs. I could listen to them. They don't grab me. But On the Road to Rock, Down, I'm all for it. I think they're awesome, awesome, awesome songs. I don't know why. I don't know if I wasn't in the mood to listen to the album, and then I was just like kind of wanting to not like it. But the first half didn't grab me. The second half, I was on the roller coaster, and it was an amazing
on the
time.
roller coaster
So it was like the exact opposite of Love-Hate, where I hated the last part of the album. I love the last part of this album.
And this is an album, too, I think, that this is one of the albums that puts me back to the time when I picked it up. I could vividly remember picking this album up for the first time in the store and, you know, looking at the album and reading the song titles like, man, like Heavy Metal Shuffle, this album's got to fucking kick ass. And it was one of the albums where you had high expectations listening to it, and it didn't let me down once I did listen to it. It's one that I will throw on. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you'll see that if I'm listening to something on vinyl, I'll sometimes take a picture of the album and the album cover and the album playing. And this is one that I will put up every once in a while, and it's one that I could throw on all the time. But I can see, Dylan, because you're not as emotionally invested in this album as I am.
This is the first time I've ever listened to it.
So,
listen to it 3 more times.
I mean, right. Like, I definitely enjoyed those songs. I was just like, I don't know quite how this album is like a seminal, but then once I get to that last half of the album,
I like the whole vibe. I think this is a very well put together album.
Yeah, I could see why you picked it. I don't know why the first couple songs didn't grabbed me, but the last half of the album.
Maybe they're
certainly
growers, not showers for you.
did. Perhaps. I fucking love On the Road to Rockdown though.
So listen to it 3 more times
were-
and talk to us tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right.
That's your homework.
At least the front half.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Listen to it 3 more times and call us tomorrow.
All right, let's go with BB.
This album is the blueprint for 80s rock.
Okay,
It
so
has-
I'll be alone on.
It has great harmonies. It has great guitar riffs. It has kick-ass solos, and the vocalist is spot on amazing. This album, from front to back, fucking spot on 80s hard rock. And it's funny how you say Man-Eater is your skippable song. I think Man-Eater is the best song in the album.
Also,
We
can
always do that a lot.
I don't understand.
Oh, BC's getting a fist pump for
Can I say?
There's not a fucking bad song in
There's-
this album.
No, there's
Come
not.
on.
There's not. It's my least.
No.
It's my
That's
least
his
favorite one
least,
out
but
of
that's
it.
my favorite.
Listen,
said it-
the only reason that I didn't like Man-Eater was because it is not the Hall & Oates song.
Okay, we'll give you that.
That's not format either.
That's not a format.
What?
I hardly say it, and that's out of format.
Thank you, BB. You get a fist pump for me now.
She's a man.
Dylan, shut up.
But I tell you, Man-Eater is so different, and I don't know the way they play it.
Maybe I wasn't in the mood for
man,
it, but it's.
I think it's such a great.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
No,
it's my least favorite.
Your least
it's
favorite.
my least favorite.
It is. I listened to this freaking song fucking 20 times today.
So you would say it's
I
like
kept
a-
going back
it's
and
a
forth.
7.
Back. I even sent BC a thing. I said, "What did I send you?" I sent a picture of
BC is a what?
BC's a what? Man-Eater. I don't know. It's so different.
Because he has an insatiable lust for flesh.
He does, and it's so great. The harmony of the band and the way they sell this with their vocals. It's just so amazing. And the different added sound effects in there are really cool. Solo is fucking. There's not a bad solo in this album.
No,
And,
I
wish
it's
I
very
wrote,
well produced.
That was my next thing. Out of these 4 albums, this is the best produced out of all 4, and it's all the way back in 1984.
84.
On the Road to Rock is we've been fans of these guys for a while, and that's always that song that you expect to see them play in a big humongous arena, and they're going back and forth and screaming and yelling. The one part of that song, you can actually hear all three instruments at one time. It's so clear and crisp. This, like I said, this album just blows me away, as it always has, and there's not a bad song or a bad solo or anything. There's nothing bad at this album.
Pickaxe Vices.
There you go. There it is.
And this album deserves.
An hour and a half in?
Without any prompting.
I mean, I can go over what these guys have said a million times, but to me, there's not a bad song on this album. This is classic. If I had to leave with 10 CDs and be thrown on the island, this is one of them. This is one that would be in the suitcase.
Yes.
1 out of 10 that'd be in the suitcase. I mean, like you said, vocals, background vocals, just the whole groove of the album.
Production,
Production,
solos, riffs.
everything about
Oof.
this. I mean, like I said, this is one of my desert island things I would take with me.
Smorgasbord of 80s hard rock and heavy metal, baby.
I feel bad. I was kind of thinking of that.
And they're doing a show this year with Killer Dwarfs.
We got
Helix,
Cannon
right?
and Helix.
And Helix.
Imagine that.
And I think it's sold out. I think I just saw something where it's sold out. I'm like, mother.
Let's get our passports
Steve and
and go to
BC go to
Canada.
that show, and they are wheeled out on a gurney with the AED
Wheeled out
hooked
on a
up to
gurney.
them. Shock him again. Shock him again.
Turn it up.
Advised.
Shock will be advised. And I have a CD of these guys live doing pretty much this album.
Back in the Napster, the Napster days. No?
It's released.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
I have it. It's an actual. I don't know where I got it.
Oh, yeah?
I got it so long ago.
Wonder if we got it at one of the expos or something.
I don't know. It's not. It's
Why
not.
don't I
It's not a
remember
bootleg.
From the mine shaft.
It's done good.
Never from the mine shaft. I'm
I don't
telling
know.
you.
I'm gonna have to get that from you.
And then
And not return it.
talk about the Napster days. On the cassette version of this, they got 30 Days in the Hole. It's only on the
Yeah.
cassette version.
Yeah.
Was
Which
it
the
called?
first time I heard that was
Sorry, go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
Was it called Captured Live?
Something 1984.
Yeah, it's a promotional album apparently.
Yeah, I must have got it at the mine shaft then.
Yeah.
I just remember
According to
picking up. It was
Wikipedia.
like,
Holy shit!
fucking, and like some late, like grandma tried to punch her in the face.
Is that the electric mine shaft?
electric?
yes.
I work close to where that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone now, right?
It's
gone.
It's empty, yeah, but they still have the
They
sign.
still have the
up.
sign on the window,
Yeah,
right?
Sign on the window, yeah.
That was amazing, that place.
That was a great place.
Man, oh, man.
Some people in the room try to burn it down.
That's a rumor.
That's a rumor, but seriously, this is the.
We'll tell you about that later. It wasn't an actual arson attempt, but it's a funny story.
I hope not.
No. It's funny though. I'll tell you.
It
later.
is very.
Remember
very
the one
funny.
time BC almost committed a felony?
The key word there is almost. But come on, Kick Axe. Anybody out there who's not heard this album, get out there, download it, do something. I will allow you to download it just so you hear it, and then you will go out and get the copies.
Charge it to BC.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry I was down on the first half, everybody.
You're not as emotionally.
no,
you're not invested in it as much as we are.
I love the second half. Second half's amazing.
This to us is like when you talk about bands you grew up with. You know what I mean? We respect
Right.
it. I mean, that's.
I don't
what
know.
we
He
grew
was
up
pretty
with.
harsh about Weezer.
He's tough. He's tough. This is what we grew up with, and you have what you grew up with.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta respect it.
That's
Yeah.
that's what the great diversity here is at this table is amazing.
Yeah.
I do like the next album.
All right. This last album, and as tradition goes for the birthday episodes, and I got to tell you, we got a long way to go between my birthday now and BC's birthday. BC's birthday is not till May.
Yeah.
So we had Dylan and BB were almost exactly a month apart. Dylan's was November. Dylan's is November 22nd. BB's is December 22nd. So they're actually
All the cool kids are born on the 22nd, Dylan.
Yep.
okay. And then mine January, but then we have like a couple months to go for BC's, which maybe we'll get BC. Maybe, although BC did an awesome job hosting the Greatest Hits album
Yeah.
last week and
Next week.
next week.
Yeah.
No, not next week. In 2 weeks.
No, next week from now.
Next week from now. Yeah. Okay. You're right.
You're
right.
confusing me.
Jesus.
Yeah.
When will then
Our-
be now?
I know our recording schedule is a little fucked up this month.
What happened to then? We passed it. When? Just now.
This now.
Just now.
So that is now. Okay,
now.
gotcha.
And as I didn't even think I said what I was going to say. As is tradition,
yeah.
with our birthday episodes, we do 3 studio albums and we do 1 live album.
And you picked the longest live album you could have.
No, actually, and it's funny too because when we were talking about doing my birthday episode, I had a totally different list,
Oh, yeah.
and I went and I listened to them. And the first live album that I picked was like 2.5 hours long.
What was that one? Oh, it was Toto.
It was the Total, the 35th anniversary album,
Yeah.
which is fucking phenomenal. For you guys that scoff at Toto out there, do not. They are fucking amazing. I didn't want to torture them. Shut up, BB.
I know one song.
Don't just hold the line, Dad.
But hold the line, yeah. Take your white sister and go away. And I had a totally different album, but I did have Kick-Axe Vices in the original list.
You did.
And that's one that I didn't switch out. I listened to the other ones and I was like, they were good, but like they weren't. They just I needed to switch them, so I did.
Birthday material.
And these guys hadn't really listened to them much anyway, so it really didn't make a difference that I changed the list. So live album, and after I picked the Toto album, I was like, you know what, I really want to pick something that really had a deeper meaning to me, that really kind of shot me in not another direction, but a different direction in my fandom at the time when I listened to it. And I've talked about this album maybe a little bit before on an episode way back when. I remember this is another album, and I spoke about it too when I first listened to Styx Grand Illusion. That was a life changer for me that kind of got me not away from Kiss, but shot me in another direction from the Kiss world. And up until then, the only live albums that I really listened to were Kiss Alive and Kiss Alive 2. They were my, and I'm sorry, the original live album I listened to was the Elvis Aloha from Hawaii album back when I was like 4 or 5, and actually I bought that album on vinyl, and it is still a fucking phenomenal live album. But I wanted to go with something that kind of he's the fucking king of rock and roll. He's never out of fucking format.
Well, he stole it from other people, but he definitely helped popularize it.
He is. He's the king. He's the fucking king. And so I wanted to go with Peter Frampton, Frampton Comes Alive, from 1976. I absolutely love this album. This was one that I was like, wow, like, there were so many different elements to this. The musicmanship on this album is phenomenal. The backing band is great. John Simos on drums.
Bob Mayo on the keyboards.
Bob Mayo on the keyboards. Bob Mayo.
Bob Mayo.
And I'm sorry, the bass player is...
It's not John Regan.
It is not John Regan. Dylan will look that up for me, and I apologize to you, sir. And but the backing band is just a chugging machine on this album.
Stanley Sheldon.
How can you forget about Stan?
Oh, sorry, Stan. I think it's a great album, and it starts out. If there was ever a member of San Francisco Society, what does he say?
It was if there was ever an honorary member of San Francisco Society,
Mr. Peter Frampton.
Mr. Peter Frampton.
When they open it up, right. A lot of people think that the whole album was recorded at the Winterland in San Francisco, but there's a couple songs on there that he actually says San Francisco in there, and you could hear the crowd go crazy. But it was actually recorded San Francisco in the Winterland. It was recorded in San Rafael, California, Long Island Arena in Cormac, New York, SUNY University in Plattsburgh, New York. And this album was originally supposed to be a single live album. But once again, the record company stepped in and they wanted a double live album because apparently they heard the songs that were being recorded for it, and they wanted it to be double live because they liked it so much and they wanted just more content on the album. I remember putting the needle down on this. I'm like, because if you open up the album, it's a gatefold. Like if you see just like Peter Frampton from his chest up in the neck of the guitar, and Frampton Comes Alive above it. But if you open it up, it drops. It's like almost like a whole body thing. You see his Les Paul with the black Les Paul with the three pickups on it, and another iconic guitar
signature.
Yeah. So he dropped that needle there. Something's happening. Really cool, a good opening song. It's got a good upbeat song. It's got that, and that right there sets the stage for the classic Peter Frampton sound, I think, for the rest of this album. Just fantastic. Doobie Wah, next song, very, very funky. Great like ride cymbal drums in this song. The solo in it is fucking excellent. Show Me the Way, a little mid-tempo thing, kind of ballady song, but it's got the cool talk box in it. That's, I think, the first time I ever heard the talk box. Right. And it was like, wow, what is this? This is weird. It's not a guitar, and it doesn't sound, but like later on we'll talk about little talk box a little more, but like it was such a different sound at the time. Show Me the Way, really cool song. It's a Plain Shame, really cool. Another kind of funky song that's got a cool chorus. It's got a really good guitar solo in it. The guitar work on this album is just kick-ass. So I'm going to go by sides on this album. That would be side 1. Starts with Something's Happening, ends with A Plain Shame. Side 2, which is probably my least favorite side of the album, and I really kind of just never really gave it a good shot. Starts out with All I Want to Be Is By Your Side, acoustic song. It's okay. He's got like fucking like high vocals on that song. It's like, holy shit. And I didn't realize it because that's like I said, it's the one I usually skip. When to Change, that's a little short song. It's okay. Baby, I Love Your Way, decent ballad. It's as far as ballads go, it's passable. I like the keyboards in that song. They're actually very good. I Want to Go to the Sun. I think it's very Beatlesque. I think as soon as I hear this song, it reminds me of a Beatles song. And which, hey, if you sound like the Beatles, that can't be a bad thing, right? Side 3, Penny for Your Thoughts, little acoustic ditty, I will say. Which is actually kind of cool. And actually, Dylan, when we saw him, he did that live, and it was actually pretty cool to see him do that.
Yeah.
And right now, the next song, which is I'll Give You Money, is probably, besides Do You Feel Like We Do, is his showcase song. Every time that I've seen Peter Frampton live, which is I've probably seen him 4 or 5 times, that this is the song that he showcases his band and his other lead guitar player. And we've seen them. I've seen Frampton do this song like a 15-minute version, almost as long as Do You Feel Like We Do, and especially when he's in a headlining situation. And even when I saw Peter Frampton this last summer up at Bethel Woods, they did at least like a 10-minute version of it. And his guitar, and he always showcases the other guitar player in the band on this song. Absolutely amazing, and it's a very heavy song. It's a really heavy. It's got a heavy riff to it. It's got a heavy song, heavy vibe to it. Shine On, one of the best songs on the album. It's got a great organ sound to it. I just absolutely love that song. Then he does Jumpin' Jack Flash next, which I think is a fucking excellent version of this song. And it's the first version of this song that is memorable to me. I had heard the song before, but the live version of this song, it's got a great solo in it, but he extends it when he does the Jumpin' Jack Flash. Like he extends it, and it's got a really cool build up towards the end of the song to get back into the song. It's fucking excellent. The guitar is great, and the end of this. Listen to the end of this song. It is probably the heaviest part of this album. On the end of this song, so check it out. Check out the whole Jumpin' Jack Flash, but the riff at the end is very fucking heavy. Side 4, Lines in My Face. Slow song, but amazing guitar work on this song. The solos are fucking excellent. And then, of course, the classic, Do You Feel Like We Do. I think that this is one of the greatest live songs ever recorded. This is a classic song. It's like 13 or 17 minutes long, or I'm not sure how long it is. But like the solo within the song itself is kick-ass. Then the keyboard solo in it is fucking great. 14 minutes and 15 seconds. And then the talk box comes back in, and now he's talking in it. And I was probably 9 years old, I want to say, when I heard this album. I was like, well, what the fuck is this? Is this like a robot talking on stage or what? Totally blew me the fuck away. Because he doesn't start to talk until after he does it for a little bit. And it's fucking amazing. Once it goes out of the talk box, and he could hear him pulling away from it, and the band like kicks back in, and listen to the guitar solos on that last part of the song, just fucking totally rips it up. And there's only 2 covers that I know of that the bands that have covered this song. There's a version of the Tesla does on one of the Reel to Reel albums, and they try to do it as true as possible to the Frampton Comes Alive version. Yeah. And I think it's Frank Hannon that does the soloing and the talk box, and that's fucking absolutely phenomenal. And Night Ranger actually does a version of it. It's they mix it in with the Beatles song. I can't think of the name of the Beatles song. They don't do the whole thing, but they do the initial guitar solo, which is, and actually that was off the Feeding Off the Mojo album, which was just Brad Gillis, Kelly Keagy, and Gary Moon. So they were only a 3-piece doing this song. But Brad Gillis fucking absolutely tears up the solo in that song. So this is an album that, a live album that kind of, the first live album that I listened to besides a Kiss live album. Huh?
Tomorrow Never Knows.
Okay.
Off of Revolver. That's a good song.
All right. So check that out, you guys. I hope you enjoy this album. If you didn't, tough shit. I fucking love it. All right. BC.
Again, I don't think I've really ever gotten into Frampton until me and you started hanging out. And I think you played this one time.
I think we played it going to a concert one time.
Probably going to a concert, I believe. And I was like, ah, cool. And then there was the DVDs he came out throughout the years. But this is another one that you could put on and just... You don't skip through anything. I mean, even if it's slower...
Even the mellower shit. It's not just, get up off your ass, lift the needle up, and continue it.
No,
it's just
not even...
Let it play.
Let it play. Just, you can sit and enjoy it. Like a fine wine.
Ooh.
That's how I look at this whole album. I mean, just listen to it as a fine wine. I mean, no bad elements to it.
Standouts?
Standouts to me, the Doobie Wah, Show Me the Way. I even like that one. Jumping Jack Flash, like I said, a little bit heavier at the end. And then the classic one, Do You Feel Like We Do?
Do you?
I do.
All right, BB.
I'm glad we're on the same page because just like the other album, something Man Eater you didn't like, I loved. And once again,
he likes the acoustic shit.
I love the acoustic shit.
I knew he was going to say that.
Because
I listened to it last night and I'm going, BB's going to love this shit.
I love it. Because it's fucking Peter Frampton. You know he's fucking going to melt the strings on the guitar. So when he brings the acoustic out and he starts with All I Want to Be Is By Your Side, he brings the whole audience on stage. And even with his high vocals, in that acoustic guitar, it just sells like
do it,
Frampton.
Frampton acoustic.
Frampton acoustic.
Frampton Comes Acoustic.
Another one I thought was really cool is I Want to Go to the Sun, because there's like a bluesy guitar solo in the middle, and then
it kind of builds up.
And he ends the song with like another kick-ass solo, which is fucking fantastic. And then the
second solo even
better. Like how can you not end your live album with Do You Feel Like I Do? Because it's just iconic Frampton. And if you have not actually heard this album, you must have lived under a rock and in a closet and
in the basement.
In the basement's basement. You know, this is live album to the extreme. What everybody should be doing is following Frampton from 1976.
So Alice Cooper was my first concert that I went to. My second concert that I went to was Peter Frampton. I believe he was playing Mohegan Sun, and it was like in the outside. And I have a very vivid memory of how amazing that show was. He just seemed so joyful on stage, and like he was having such a good time, and it translated into the audience. And you could hear that on this album, like the nice little stage banter he has. Like this one's called Doobie Wah. Like I can't think of the song without thinking of that intro,
right?
Or the Bob Mayo on the keyboards, Bob Mayo. Although I also think of the Frampton Comes Alive 2 version with we like to call him the Bulls of the band.
The Bulls.
Mr. John Regan. But this is an album that has a good attachment to me. I've always loved this album. After I saw Frampton, I immediately went to Frampton Comes Alive to see if it translated to vinyl, and it really does. You can't go wrong with Do You Feel Like We Do. There's actually, that version is on Guitar Hero 5, and you get to do like the whole thing, the talk box. And actually you play the keyboard part on the guitar as well, I believe, which is really cool. But I think I like the...
All those nights we were just drinking and playing.
I think I like the Queen acoustic set better than the Frampton acoustic set, just because I feel like the Queen one has a little more energy. From Live Killers.
Oh, right.
I do like the version of Baby I Love Your Way, and I like Wind of Change. I love the Penny for Your Thoughts little ditty. Like it's so just like a simple thing, but a really fun little interlude right before I'll Give You Money, which is a showstopper of a song. I love...
pull up... If you get on YouTube and pull up Peter Frampton, I'll Give You Money live.
I want to say that was the first time I had my mind blown when I was seeing a concert, was seeing Frampton go back and forth with his guitarist during that song.
Fucking amazing.
And I still get chills every time I hear the song, because we saw him, 2 other times? And
I've seen him more than that.
They've done that part, and it's so amazing.
And it's funny, when I saw Frampton this year up at Bethel Woods, I was with my wife, and I probably drove her crazy now that I think of it, crazier than I usually do. And I'm like, they better do I'll Give You Money. She's like, I don't even know what that is. I'm like, you'll know what it is. I'm like, they better do it. And they start doing it, and I'm like, all right, they better do the long version. They better do the long version. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the other guitar player needs to do like a long solo in this song. She's like, shut up. And he did, and I'm like, that's the best part of the fucking show.
Did you give her a BC?
And BB, he...
no, I didn't beat her up, BC, like you fucking beat me
he does,
up.
He does an instrumental version of Black Hole Sun. And it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys get a chance, go see Frampton live. Amazing talent.
He still has it.
He is, and he is, and on the live album, there's not a lot of time for him to talk and stuff like that. And I'm not a fan of that. Even the Paul Stanley banter, I can just play a fucking song. But Peter Frampton, you can tell there's a guy that's having a good time on stage.
He's so charming.
He enjoys his band. He's very charming, very charming, and
I love
so talented.
During Show Me the Way, I wonder how you feeling, and then he always raises his hands to the crowd, and you can hear it on the album. They're a little delayed,
right?
Because they're not quite used to that part happening.
Yeah, but like listen to it now, and it's fantastic. And even Dylan alluded to it a little bit before. Frampton Comes Alive 2 came out, and the DVD version has like songs that are on this included, but the album version has just the in quotations, the newer songs.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. It's great. He does some Humble Pie songs on there. And
I think there's some Austin Powers references in the talk box section during that one.
Yeah. Are you groovy, baby?
Cool.
Yeah. So check out Frampton Comes Alive, iconic live album from 1976, released January 6th, 1976. Great year. That was a great era, you guys, I think, for live albums. Mm-hmm. You go from the early 70s, you have Deep Purple, Made in Japan. You have Kiss Alive in 76. You have this. And, Led Zeppelin, the song remains the same. There's just so many great live albums out there. And one album, I think, that is kind of an unforgotten one, and we're going to maybe include into an episode in a while coming up, is Fog Hat Live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking great album. There's like 6 songs on it. Single live album. Maybe our next single live album episode, maybe we'll delve into that a little bit. And,
Mayhaps.
Just a great 70s vibe. And this is like a BB said that Kick Axe was a good blueprint for 80s hard rock type stuff. I think that Frampton Comes Alive and Kiss Alive are the blueprints for 70s
definitely
live albums.
Mm-hmm. So, which one came out first?
Kiss Alive came out first. Okay. Kiss Alive came out in 75. This came out in 76.
Oh, I thought they both came out in 76.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
My bad.
No problem.
It's okay.
Okay, let me go around real quick. Give me your rankings, BB, of these 4 albums.
All right, so bottom is definitely going to be the BCC4.
Because it has BC in it.
Because it has BC in it, so it's definitely going to be on the bottom.
Soils it.
Frampton Comes Alive is next. LoveHate at number 2. And Kick Axe is number 1.
All right, Dylan.
I'll start from the bottom. Love Hate's on the bottom. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go Kick Axe. But it's like Love Hate because of those 3 songs, Kick Axe, and then I think I'm gonna talking about it. I think I'm gonna go BCC4 number 2, and I'm gonna go Frampton number 1 because talking about it reminded me how much I really like Frampton Comes Alive.
BC.
First and foremost, there's no bad album.
Thank you.
There's some bad songs, but there's no bad album.
No, but not a bad album. But
no, I agree.
I mean, my pickings are the same as BB. Not that there's any bad album or
teacher, he's copying.
I'm copying out BB, but that was mine before he even
right.
Because I mean, of
All
course,
right, cool.
Kick Axes.
I mean, if I had to rank them, very tough ranking for me. I would from bottom to top. I would definitely do. Love Hate on the bottom because it has the most songs that I don't like on it.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm going.
And then I would go to. I would actually go BCC4 next because it's so much newer, and I haven't lived with that album as long as I have everything else.
There's not a bunch of meaning behind it,
right?
Not that
it's got great meaning for me. It really does.
Yeah,
but I just haven't lived with that album as long as everything else.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say Kick Axe because I was on the ground floor with those guys. Would be next, and that was an album that was one of my grabs from us guys that used to do the album thing, and then Frampton Comes Alive can't be beat. It's a coin flip between Frampton Comes Alive, Kiss Alive, and Kiss Alive 2 for me. It's a coin flip. and it depends on the mood.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kiss fans out there, but it just depends on the mood.
It's a
and like anything else,
album.
and like even like people like, oh, what's your top Kiss albums? This and that. Like any of my favorite albums could be any band, could be Iron Maiden, could be Judas Priest, could be Kiss. Everything for me is a sliding scale. It all depends on, like, I will have a core top 10 maybe, but it's always a sliding scale, and for me, it always depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
And but you can't deny the classicness of Peter Frampton. Frampton Comes Alive. It's just an iconic album, and I was hoping at some point when we started doing this podcast to talk about this album a little bit in depth because of my love for this album. Thank you guys for allowing me to throw my birthday picks out there. We'll go around the table.
Happy birthday.
Huh? Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
I haven't had it yet when we're recording this, but I'm sure it was cool. Actually, I'm actually working on my birthday, a 24-hour shift at the firehouse.
So if you want
um,
to send a Domino's pizza,
Yeah. So
send it to 6
hopefully,
Domino's.
I have
Carve it up
a
into
semi-plan for a cool place that I like to go for dinner. Hopefully, we get there for my birthday at some point. Either I'm going to say the day after that.
It's called Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, it's not. It's not Buffalo Wild Wings. It's one of the restaurants at a casino by us.
Oh, okay.
And absolutely love that fucking place. So, guys, thank you. Let's go around the table one more time. We'll do our little say goodbye, wrap up thing, whatever we call it. And
Sure.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Happy birthday, first and foremost. Good albums. I hadn't listened to 2 out of the 4, and I hadn't listened to 4 out of the 4 in a long time, or the other 2 out of the 4 in a long time. So I was really happy that I got to revisit Frampton Comes Alive and rediscover how amazing that album is. And of course, Black Country Communion. You have all those amazing musicians. You can't have a crap. Well, that Afterglow wasn't great.
Yeah, Afterglow was a little convoluted, that kind of album, I think, but
still some moments of brilliance in there. I'm glad that I got to listen to Kick Axe and most of LoveHate. Those were really good albums that I had heard songs here and there, of course, from you playing them just around, but I hadn't listened to them front to back, so I'm really glad that I got to listen to them and discover some really awesome tracks. And those 3 from LoveHate could rot in hell. The rest of the album's good, though.
Yeah, like Dylan said, first and foremost, righty, the Podfessor, happy birthday!
thank you.
Once again, all these albums I was familiar with, and I'm just so glad that you brought out the Kick Axe, because that album is such a blueprint. Like, when I say blueprint, like, that album front to back, everything about that album is fucking fantastic. The vocals, the harmonies, the solos, the riffs, everything. And I can't believe that, if you go to like somebody who's a Motley Crue or a Poison or anybody from the 80s, like, oh, you ever Kick Axe? You're like, who? Really? It's just so like heartbreaking, but fantastic album picks. Frampton. How can you another blueprint? It's funny how I'm bringing a blueprint tonight, but another blueprint of how to throw an album together, like live album. And as BC would say, happy birthday, you little son of a bitch.
Thanks, buddy.
You tell that.
Again, to the guy, best friend, brother who started all this, happy birthday. And again, 4 albums, again, not a bad album. 4 that 2 I was very familiar, 2 others I'm somewhat familiar with, but are all in their own standing have elements of greatness.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for putting up with my picks and not bashing the fuck out of me too badly tonight. And I do agree. There are the LoveHate. Man, if it wasn't for those couple songs, it would be fucking perfect. Even though BC loves Don't Fuck With Me, but
Don't Fuck With Me is the worst one, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Because BC won't fuck with you.
I agree. And it's funny because on the birthday episode, BC got the bash the most for that song. But and I appreciate you guys, and you guys kick ass, and I'm proud to call you guys my friends and brothers and son, and you guys totally kick ass. So you guys out there, let us know what you think about these 4 albums. Have you even checked these albums out? If you haven't, give them a listen. Let us know what you think. And we have a lot of cool episodes coming up, and you will hear part 2 of the BC's Greatest Hits albums. Next week, you will hear Dylan's, BC's, and BB's albums next week. I'm telling you right now, they're not as good as mine and Sonny's.
Okay.
I'm only kidding. But I'll tell you what, and that was a fucking awesome episode to record. And I gotta say, we had the episode locked in that we were going to record it that night. And I had talked to Sonny a couple months before that he was possibly going to be up in this area. His job was going to bring him to this area. And if we were available that night, and then once he had the date locked in, I'm like, holy shit, we're recording that night. So we had our bands picked that we were going to do for the Greatest Hits ones. And I said, well, would you be adverse to recording with us and picking your own? So he's like, fuck, hell yeah. And so Sonny picked Hailstorm, which you guys heard last week, and you'll get his awesome insight and the rest of us for next week's albums. And I'll tell you what, the bands that were picked for the next 3 albums, you guys do not want to miss, because there's some stuff there that I was like, even like, wow, like, holy fuck, like, kick ass shit. Some I was familiar with, some I was not, and as all of us were. Yeah. And it was a pleasure to have Sonny here, actually live recording with us, because usually we do it over Skype, and it kind of meshed. We had a great dinner with Sonny, and as far as this episode goes, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and check those albums out. Check out Black Country Communion, check out LoveHate, check out Kick Axe, check out Frampton Comes Alive, and check out these bands' other other albums. And because there's a lot of great stuff out there. Check out our gems. Check out the stuff we're listening to. If you guys have an album you want us to check out, we will check it out. Because in a couple weeks, I won't give it away, but we have another episode coming up. It's in the vein of one that we've done before, but we're doing a new twist to it. We have one of our listeners. I will give you props when we do it, because I don't want to give anything away. We're going to do a suggestion from one of our listeners out there, one of our faithful listeners. We're going to do it. We're going to incorporate it into one of our episodes, and I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. It was one of the episodes that got a lot of good play when we did it. So, guys, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We love your interaction on Facebook. We have the YouTube channel, everything. Give us if you can, if you want to, get on Facebook or iTunes or Podchaser. Give us a good review. And if you like the stuff you heard, every week we do a Spotify playlist. When you pull this up on iTunes, there'll be a Spotify playlist. Click on that. There'll be a bunch of songs of what we talked about tonight on there, and I listen to it every week. And Dylan puts the list together. It's all stuff that we talk about. Sometimes there's some extra stuff thrown in there that we don't talk about, and it's a good listen. If you go out for a run and go out for a walk, or if you're just doing shit around the house, after you listen to the podcast, throw the Spotify playlist on there. There's some cool shit on there. So, guys, we love you. Be safe out there. Have fun. And we love you. We will see you next time. And there definitely will be a next time.